anticipating those waves before they get to the island itself. So all of that shell that you see sticking up around the exterior of this side of the island, that was all deposited there to help protect the island from further erosion.
see the pink ones, they're not like staying together as a group. They're not yet nested. color for about a year or two once it's off of the bird. So you might have this gorgeous, strange pink hat, and it's, you know, bright and brilliant for 2 years, and then nothing. Here comes a bunch of ibis across.
So when did the spoonbills return?
I think that was about 2008.
It's funny, there's probably no way of knowing why they decided to return. You know, what brought them here.
We don't know. The best guess of why birds nest here on Pelican Island, out of all the possible places, is you have to remember this is not a spoil island. Spoil islands have only been around since the 40s. It's not a mangrove island either, meaning there's bedrock underneath of it. So the Indian River Lagoon is between 5,000 and 7,000 years old. And Pelican Island, because of the bedrock, has always been a high spot on the topography. And so the generally accepted best guess is that it's imprinted on the birds to go here. Of course, you can't prove that.
What's a spoil island?
Those are the islands that were created when the intracoastal waterway was dug. So the Six Sisters
Yeah.
are spoil islands. Big Dr. That great blue just caught something out there on the oyster reef.
I thought he had a stick in his mouth or something.
So the great blues do the same thing pelicans do. They kind of cruise and you can look down and they'll dive.
No,
How do they-
great blues do not dive for their food. They spear their food from a standing position. So they only hunt in very shallow water. And great blues are not like other birds in that most birds are either diurnal, they hunt during the day, nocturnal, they hunt at night. But the great blues, they're more like humans. They raid the fridge whenever they feel like it. So during the day, when they can see into the water, they're going after things more like fish. And at night, maybe like crabs, amphibians, and things that are on the shoreline, but not in the water.
So who besides pelicans sort of cruises and has great eyesight? Dive.
Definitely osprey, and they dive down feet first, not head first. There goes the snowy coming in. The osprey dive down feet first. The terns, the little guys with the long pointy wings, there's several different species of them. They dive down and get a little tiny fish known as a bay anchovy. That's what they're going after mostly. All right. Thanks, Carmen. That was a nice to get a break from all the noise of the motor and still enjoy this beautiful scene.
So is there snow eagles on the Big Island?
Oh yeah, they eat them on the ice in the winter in Minnesota too.
Now that's a juvenile white ibis that just came in. The one on the right of the pair, he's still kind of brown. When white ibis are first born, they are brown, and then they're mottled brown and white, and then finally in their adult plumage, they'll be all white.
Chambers will come down? Is it? Yeah, it has been. I don't know. It's been told me whether it was naturally reappeared or something.
Because it had been just a low spot on the topography where this got filled with water, and perhaps correct. And unfortunately, just like the intercoastal has started filling in, this is now filling in as well with sediment, and they call it muck. It's not as deep as it once was, yes.
I remember when their kids were young and jumping buckets, all playing with
Very eager to. We have 3 species of mangroves in Florida. They're all protected by law. Most of what you're seeing here are the red mangroves. They have the roots that go down like this. They're right into the water. The ones that are sort of more of a grayish green color are the black mangroves, and they have pneumatophores that stick up and out from the soil. We tell the kids they're called snorkel roots, so that they can still have gas exchange even when they become inundated with water. And then farther behind that is the white mangroves. Mangroves aren't very closely related except for the fact that they can deal with brackish water, and they are viviparous, meaning that they bear live young. So they don't, that which falls off the tree is not a seed, but rather it's a seedling. It's an already germinated seed. It's called a propagule. The red mangroves have that long green cigar-like thing that dangles down. That's the propagule of the red mangrove. The black mangrove has a propagule that kind of looks like a lima bean. The white mangrove has a propagule that kind of looks like a sunflower seed. So the characteristics that allow us to lump them all together are the fact that they can deal with the brackish water. Most plants cannot grow in brackish water. And the fact that they are viviparous. We do have manatees here, but as long as the water is above 69 degrees, they can be anywhere and everywhere. So, you know, and obviously the weather's been quite warm recently, so they can be wherever they want to right now. Pretty reliably, a good place to go and see them is in the southern part of Indian River County called Round Island, because the seagrasses are doing quite a bit better there than they are. There's more food for them down there. It's a long story, but it all has to do with too many nutrients in the water allowing algal blooms to occur, and then those algal blooms have shaded out